everyone, today we are going to be learning about 3D solids. Sometimes you'll hear them be called 3D shapes, but they actually are called solids. And we have a bunch of them in our classroom, so if you're regularly with Mrs. Thatcher, you probably will have played with these as toys. So this is what the solids are looking like. So they have a shape, but then they're fluffed out. So it has the height, the width, length, and the width, how wide it is. So instead of it being flat, it has some shape to it. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of different 3D solids. So this one is called a sphere and a cube. It's squares and put together, and it has all the different faces and it's put all together. This one is called a pyramid. This one's called a cylinder. It looks like a can, like a tomato soup can. And this one, does anyone know what this one's called? If you know what it is, it might be easier if you think of it this way. And then you put a scoop of something on top. It looks like an ice cream cone, and this one's called a cone. And we'll talk about a couple other ones, but today we're going to learn how to draw them. So it's always really tricky to learn how to draw them. So in your book, and that's what we're going to be doing today for math, is in your book you're going to be learning how to draw the different ones. So for today, for this lesson, I'm just going to use a marker. You can use a pencil if you want to kind of try practicing it a couple times first. It has step-by-step instructions on what to do. So over here, you're kind of just going to make a little curved line and then make it into a really flat oval. And then here's your flat oval that you had. And you draw one line going up. There's that flat oval that you've had practice now drawing. Flat line going up and straight line going back down. So there's a cone. And then on the bottom, you can practice drawing it without the dotted lines there. So on top, they have the dotted lines for you to trace. On the bottom, you can try drawing it all on your own. And you can draw it different ways. So maybe I want a cone that looks like an ice cream cone. So I can draw them a couple different ways. And you can practice drawing it for all of them. So all the shapes are there for you to practice the cylinder, a circle, another circle, and then you just connect it. And there's your cylinder. And then if you really want to make it seem like that's a cylinder, you can just kind of color the top of it. Then you can kind of make it look like a cylinder. Or you can erase one of the lines on the inside to make it look like a cylinder. So practice it, see how it goes, and there's a bunch of different spaces for you to kind of try around and try different things. So on this one for drawing the cube, it actually does it different than how Mrs. Thatcher does. So if you want to try drawing the cube the way Mrs. Thatcher does, because I know lots of you guys have mentioned that I know how to draw the cube, this is how Mrs. Thatcher does it. I'll do it on here so that you can see a little bit better. I draw my square. That's what I'm going to start with. I'll just move this up a little bit. So there's my square. Draw a line, draw a line, draw a line. And see that they're kind of all angled, but they're all angled the same way. All these diagonal lines, they're not going straight. They're diagonaling up, diagonal up, diagonal up. They're all going at the same way. And then I'm going to just connect them. And there is my cube. I'm just going to fix this so it's nice and straight. And then even for my cylinder, so I can just curve that line so that you can see how I did that. I'll do another one over here. I can curve the line. Oh, sorry, I'm going to try that again. That's why it's probably a good idea to use a pencil, because it is sometimes a little bit tricky. I'm using a whiteboard, so it's not as big of a deal. I can erase it, but with a marker it would be sure tricky. So I'm making an oval, a flat oval, 2 lines going down, and then I'm just going to kind of make this part match this part. And then there is my cylinder. So try them out, see how you do. They are a little bit tricky, but they have step-by-step instructions. If it's really tricky for you, you can also look online there's lots of how to draw a rectangular or triangular prism. You can type that in and it will give you also some other step-by-step. So if this is kind of tricky for you, you can try it out. They're fun to draw though, because you can use these types of solids in your drawings. They look like they're 3D, they look like 3-dimensional, but they're flat on piece of paper, so they really can make your pictures that you draw really pop out and come to life. So that's one of the great things about learning how to draw them. We'll talk to you soon.